Hey, welcome back to the channel. I just read an article about the Switch 2, which I'm not buying, by the way. I seen that they said that there are going to be 6 to 8 million units sold by launch date. Sold by launch date. All this complaining and all this, you know, about the price and all that, and then you guys was putting that Trump's tariffs in there and all that kind of stuff. You know, I was sitting back thinking about how I buy my systems. I buy my systems like kind of late because I'm not like that. Even though I wanted the PS5, uh, but I waited and I finally was able to get it to drop. But 6 to 8 units at launch, that's a pretty big launch, man. Uh, only reason why I'm making this video because I just read some articles about how it's going to be. Uh, Not some people won't be getting it by June 5th. I guess that's when the date, June 5th. Some people won't be getting theirs by June 5th. They might have to wait. I guess I read over there in Japan, I guess that you know, Nintendo has a lot of people in Japan. Uh, I guess the orders are high over there. After all that complaining, because I said in one of my previous videos, if that thing was $550 and I really wanted it, I would have bought it. Uh, because I don't really have a problem buying something I really want. So I just don't look at everything as, you know, it should be this price, it should be this price, because, sometimes I do, but I'm like, damn. But then when I get it, I really want it though. Uh, I just dropped some cash for a new setup, which I'm going to put a video up on my new setup. I dropped a lot of cash on that and I wanted it because I wanted it. Why? Because I like watching movies. I like this TV I got, man. I just love it. I always wanted one and I got it. And I got a good deal, and I dropped a big ton of cash on it, and and I'm happy with it. So it's just the way it is. And I'm just saying this, and let me. Here's one I want to share with you guys. I don't know how. I don't know when Switch came out. Was it 8 years? Was it 11 years ago when it first came out? The Switch was it 11 or 9 years? Anyway, it was. I think it was. See, this is 2025. Maybe it's been 9 or 10 years since the original Switch come out. You guys ever thought about how you're buying stuff? I don't do it, but I'm just saying, think about it. So if you was so into this Switch, like a lot of people on these YouTube channels say they are, and then a lot of YouTubers were saying, "Do not buy the Switch. Do not buy the Switch. Do not buy the Switch." And yet you guys y'all got pre-orders that's just through the roof. 6 to 8 million units sold just on launch date. That's impressive. But and yet, in all this complaining, it looks like Nintendo's gonna have a hard time. The company itself gonna have a hard time trying to get these orders filled. They're even telling people that we're not going to promise you. They're even stuff like if you're on their site, like Nintendo Store, you have to be on their, little. How Nintendo has that little thing that you can be on their like. Uh, what is it like? I got Nintendo, and I don't have I don't have an email for their thing you can buy from their store. And they said that you can buy from them, but you have to be a member for like over so many years or something like that, just in order to be able to get an email saying that you're locked in, you will get your Switch too. I don't know. I just read the article. It's just kind of funny to me how I looked at all these people complaining about the Switch 2's price, and yet you guys still went out and bought that thing. You went out and dropped these pre-orders. These pre-orders are through the roof. 6 to 8 million units. 8 million units sold just by June 5th. That's impressive. I knew this was gonna happen. And the reason why I say that is because people can look at me and say, well, I don't know why you would sit there and say you're okay with the price, because I am okay with the price. I mean, if I want to get, let's just say hypothetically, if I want to get a Switch 3, and the Switch 3 comes out, and it's 9 years from now. Hopefully, I'm around 9 years from now, and the Switch 2 costs anywhere between $450, $500 to $600 now. Then I'm automatically gonna think that that Switch 3 is gonna be like probably as powerful as the PS5. Let's just say that, right? Hypothetically. So he'd be like, yeah, the Switch 3 is gonna have specs like the PS5. I've never seen so much power in such a small console in a while. And by then you'll probably have to, Sony might not be making a PS7 or something. But anyway, I'm just using this as an example, right? So my question is, if you're into this stuff, and I don't blame you, now how come you can't put back some nickels and dimes for the next 7 to 8 years? Y'all get income tax every year. People be dropping money and blowing money on stuff that just is just like it's their thing. But I'm like, you blow money on stuff that just ain't no big deal. You don't think nothing of that. Some people drop $6, $7 to $8,000 on a trip to go overseas. Overseas, they'll drop $7 grand, come back, pours all get out. Credit card all maxed out, and they enjoyed themselves. It's the experience. They can say they went. I get it, but if you could drop that much money on a trip, well, they can say, well, that doesn't have nothing to do with trips. Is different. You got the experience, and it's something you can always look. I know that, but what I'm saying is that if you got 9 years from the next system, then you should put your nickels and dimes together, which I'm saying is a little savings, and put a little nest egg back and say, well, you know what? If I'm still around and Nintendo's still doing pretty good on their stuff, and still banging it out, then I should be able to have, a little nest egg. So if you take, let's just say hypothetically, if you did this, I bet you $5 that if 90% of y'all would have did this, you wouldn't have complained. You might have said, well, I think that's too much money. You still wouldn't have bought it. You know why you still would have bought it? Because you're still buying it. I knew this was going to happen. See, I can't buy the Nintendo Switch 2 because I can't justify buying it because I got my Switch 1 down there that it's like brand new. And thank God Nintendo's still making games for it. And I don't blame Nintendo. Maybe, what is this? This is 2025. I say by the end of 2027, they might say we're going to stop making games for the Switch, and now everything's going to be for the Switch 2, all the newer games. I don't blame them there because they at least giving you a couple years to to get it together. But for me, I don't play my Switch, so I am going to play it when that Metro Prime 4 comes out. And I think, and that's nice that they're actually making, and that Mario racing thing looks really cool too. So the thing I'm just trying to make a point about is just, I'm just sitting there reading that article, and I was literally reading. I was shaking my head. I said, you gotta be kidding me. All these YouTubers put up there, do not buy. This is ridiculous. Do not buy. This, that, and that, and this, and this. And I'm like sitting there going, and then I'm reading articles where they got their pre-orders and all that, and everything is just through the roof. I knew it was going to happen. And this is not anything type of video. It's just I knew it was going to happen. They do this every time some new system come out. If it ain't the price point they want, they're going to complain about it. But yet, when the pre-order goes up, they got pre-orders it's just through the roof. Everybody's complaining about the PS5 because the PS5 don't have that many games. It don't bother me. It don't have that many games. I'm still glad I bought my PS5. I'm still glad I bought my Xbox Series X. I'm still glad I bought my Steam Deck. I still like my Switch. I pick it up and play it every now and then. I'm still fascinated by that Switch. No, I'm not buying no Switch 2. But with the point I'm making, if this thing is going to sell 6 to 8 million units, that's got to be a successful launch, man. My goodness, man. After all these big YouTubers did all these complaints, and I know a lot of it is just, clickbait, thumbnails, the way they do their thumbnails, the way they make they kill me doing that stuff. I was talking to a guy at work. He says, yeah, man, he said, I don't know about these YouTubers anymore. He said, because I don't think anybody in their right mind is that excited over stuff and the way they be making their face. I said, nah, I said, it's getting old to me. This gets old. I'm like, really, dude? Just get on. Anyway, I thought that was impressive. But in closing, uh, you guys had, y'all out there, y'all big Nintendo people, game systems, people like me, y'all had plenty of time to save up money for this thing. You knew that it was coming. You knew that it was coming. Y'all be getting these, a lot of y'all get income tax return. Now, I don't know about foreign countries and all that stuff, but here in America, you get income tax return. And you done had tons and tons of income tax returns from the time the Switch 1 launched until we got the new Switch 2. Okay, so even if you can't get the Switch 2, let's just play hypothetically, you can't get the Switch 2 and you want it really, really bad, why don't you just save up for it? If you got plenty of time, just like that PS5. When that PS5 finally dropped, I had money for that PS5. I ain't having it first. And I ain't gonna lie, I stretched when I got it. I really you shouldn't be buying this thing, but I did. And it dropped in my cart. That was when it was things were starting to drop in the cart, and I was thinking, I ain't gonna be able to get the PS5, and it dropped in my cart. So if y'all got patience, and some of y'all wait out there like you should, you'll be able to get the Nintendo Switch 2. But in closing, you guys had, I guess, I don't know when the Switch 1 came out. Was it 9 years ago or something? 8? You had 8 years to save up for this new Switch. 8 years. You could have put back $5 a week. $5 a week times 52 weeks in a year times 11 years or 9 years. You wouldn't even, if you had $700 to $800 sitting in the bank just for a game system and they dropped that price, you'd be like, oh, can't wait to get that. Because you wouldn't be so mad because you already got the money. You had plenty of time to save up money for this. You knew that the Switch 2, you heard rumors about that Switch 2 coming out like a couple years ago. They've been talking about the Switch 2. People, all these big YouTubers that do all this clickbaiting in their thumbnails and all that, and these crazy faces they be making, even they was saying that Switch 2 was coming. You've had 2 years to save up for that Switch 2. If that Switch 2 was $600, maybe you wouldn't buy it so quick, but some of you still would have bought it. In spite of all of your complaining. You'd have complained right straight to Nintendo and gave them your little $600. Now, thankfully, it's, $499? I think it's going to go up, in some places. Like the PS5, the price went up in some countries. I got my PS5 because I had patience. Some of y'all need to have patience. You don't need that right away. Wait. You'll get it. It might be when you be like, oh man, I got this extra cash. Oh, I'm going to see if I can get a Nintendo Switch 2. And you might go in and get a Nintendo Switch 2 and you'd be like, man, I was tripping. I was tripping when I couldn't get that Nintendo Switch 2 back in the day, man, when it first launched, which was like less than 6 months ago. And I had all this extra cash, so I decided to go see if I can get one. And boom, fate. I don't know, man. I sometimes I have these random thoughts. I have to put them out here. It's just, you guys had 9 years to save up for that. I mean, $10 a week times 52 weeks times 11 years and 9 years. You'd have had that money hand over foot. Hand over foot. I knew this was going to happen. Just like them fools that sit there and said they wasn't going to buy the PS5 Pro. There was a guy on there I follow. Nice guy. Love his channel. He sat there and he said, yeah, I just think it's ridiculous the PS5 Pro costs this much money and blah, blah, blah. 3 months later, he had a PS5 Pro. And he tried to justify why he bought it. I'm not going to talk about this other guy's YouTuber because he was the one talking about do not buy. It was always do not buy, do not buy, do not buy. Nintendo this, Nintendo that, Nintendo. He goes, obviously you guys know I have to buy a Nintendo. No, you don't have to buy a Nintendo Switch 2. You're just buying a Nintendo Switch 2 because you sit there, you talked all that crap, and now you're going to go ahead and buy it because you said, well, that's what I do. It's my job. It's not your job. You're just saying that. You just reneging on all the stuff you said. Do not buy, do not buy. He the first one that went out. Nobody's forcing you to buy anything. You're just trying to upload more videos to your channel for clicks and views and them dumbass thumbnails that they put up with them faces they be making. Pardon my French. Anyway, you guys, God bless and have a good day. But 6 to 8 million units, I think that's very successful. That's a very successful 6 to 8 million units. That's impressive. At that price, not to mention the games they're going to be selling. Yet everybody was complaining. Everybody was. Then people could justify, well, they said it was going to be this prices. That's why we're not mad no more. Oh, whatever. God bless. Take care, and we'll catch you next video. We'll see you.